Hey guys, if this is your first time to my channel, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Emily and today I am bringing you this week's Pay or Stay Away. So let's go ahead and jump on into a product that kind of deceived me, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I was just really shocked once I actually saw what the actual product looked like versus some of the promo photos, and in no way am I hating on the owner. Dude, I freaking love the owner. She's literally rock star, she's beautiful, and practically perfect. But it doesn't mean I'm gonna necessarily like every single thing that she brings out to her line. And yes, of course, I am talking about Miss Rihanna. I am talking about the new Fenty Moroccan Spice palette and the rest of the collection. This collection is coming soon. We do not yet have a launch date, but I'm sure that it will be probably within the next month or so. So this collection consists of the Moroccan Spice palette, which is going to be retailing for $59. You get a mix of matte and shimmer shades. Then there is two brush options with this collection. You can get the all-over eyeshadow brush for $24 or the tapered blending brush for $24. And finally, there is a liquid eyeliner that is being launched with this collection in the shade Cause I'm Black, and it is a satin finish. That name is so cute. I don't know why, I love it. And that is going to be retailing for $22. So the brushes look really nice to me, but I don't want to spend $24 for a brush, but I don't doubt that they're going to be good quality because from what I've heard, the Rihanna brushes are actually really good. And not like that's surprising or anything, but they're kind of pricey, but I have heard that they are good quality. So if you are in the market for some good quality brushes, this might be your jam. I think they're really pretty. I love the millennial pink that she's got going on. Very simplistic, but very beautiful. As far as the eyeliner, I'm going to be skipping over that as well, even though I think the name is adorable and I'm excited to see Rihanna bring out eyeliner. I saw a photo of her wearing a white eyeliner on Trendmood's page, and that eyeliner looked incredible, and I could definitely go for a white eyeliner, so I think that that's something we might be seeing in the future from Fenty, but for right now I'm just going to skip over this one because I'm not really into satin finish eyeliners. As you can see, I go for a very strong, black, big, sharp, in-your-face wing. But let's go ahead and talk about the palette here, which I feel like was the most exciting of the launch. This is the Moroccan Spice palette. Now, initially when I saw the promo photos, I saw this photo right here. And when I saw this, I immediately thought of Makeup Struggles. I even messaged her and told her, I saw this and thought of you because this gives me like Makeup Struggles cool toned vibes. And it just seems like it's right up her alley, right? Well, when I first saw this promo photo, I saw a lot of mauve tones, a lot of more cooler toned reds, and of course that really pretty like denim-y cool toned blue. So I was actually really impressed with the color selection for this palette, and obviously I've been more so into blue tones and cool tones lately, which is very surprising honestly, but it's just the way life's been going lately. But when they actually posted the photo of the palette itself in natural lighting, I was disappointed to say the least. Not like this is an ugly palette by any means. It's a pretty palette, but it just looks like things that we've seen a million times. And that's just my personal opinion. Maybe you might think it looks different because there are a few blue tones and purple tones that are thrown in there. But for the most part, to me, this is just a warm-toned neutral palette with a couple pops of purple and blue. Now, that might totally be your jam, but based off of that initial picture where it looked very mauve-y and cool-toned and smoky, this is just definitely a lot different than I thought it was going to be. So I'm not going to be picking it up for that reason. I probably would have picked it up if it was the kind of mauve-y, smoky toned palette like I thought it was, because I don't own anything like that in my collection. And now that I'm more so into cool tones, I'm kind of dying to get my hands on some smoky, mauve-y shades. I do think that the packaging is beautiful. I mean, this is like the prettiest packaging you could probably have. But I just don't need it right now, so I'm going to be passing over it. But do let me know if you are more interested in what the palette actually looks like, or if you were kind of like me and you wanted it to be more of like a mauve-y, bluish, smoky palette, because I'm pretty curious. I'm pretty curious to see how people feel about this now that the actual real photos of it have come out. So moving right along into the second item on the Pay or Stay Away list this week, we're going to be talking all about the Limecrime Plushies Sheer Pigment Palette. We don't have a price for this yet or a release date. It was actually just posted on Trendmood's. Actually, I don't even think it was Trendmood. I think it was Hotfire Makeup. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Hot Fire Makeup. So I actually got this from her Instagram account, now that I'm thinking about it. But I saw this last night on Instagram nonetheless. And when I first saw it, I was so freaking excited. I literally was sitting in bed with my boyfriend watching TV, and I kind of screeched out loud because I love Limecrime's eyeshadows. They're one of my favorite formulas, and I actually recently found out, thanks to one of you guys, that Limecrime is no longer owned by Doe Deer. They actually were bought out, and Doe Deer kind of has nothing to do with it now. So if you guys don't already know, Doe Deer is the former owner of Limecrime. She has done some very controversial, to say the least, things in the couple years that Limecrime has been around, and apparently she's not really involved anymore. So I actually feel very comfortable talking about Limecrime now and suggesting them to you guys. So I'm pretty happy about that. That's kind of mean, but it is what it is. But I saw the color scheme on the back of this palette that's supposedly coming out, and I thought it was beautiful. It looks like you're going to be getting a really bright neon intense pink, a more mauve pink, a more cool toned brown, and a kind of blueberry-ish shade. It's actually called Blueberry. I'm not really sure what the finish of these shadows are going to be because so far we've just seen the outside packaging of the box of the up-and-coming palettes. But when I kind of looked closer into the actual packaging and the description of these shadows, these are described as sheer pressed pigments. So I think a lot of people, including myself, are very confused on what that means, because when I think of a pressed pigment, I want full impact, very high color types of eyeshadows. And when you add the word sheer in there, I don't even know what I would be expecting from that type of formula. Now, I believe in them when it comes to eyeshadows because they have made some amazing eyeshadows before. But I just don't want to buy something that I'm going to pack onto my eye and have to really just layer and layer and layer it up to get full pigment. I don't know if that's just a marketing ploy because this palette is called the Plushies palette, and they do already have some lipsticks in their line that are called the Plushies that are a sheer formula. Basically, you put it on your lips and it's supposed to be very sheer and washed out looking. It's supposed to look like you've been kind of sucking on a popsicle or eating some candy. It's supposed to give you kind of a stain-ish vibe. And for lips, I think that is perfect because you already have pigmented lips. Most people's lips do have an okay amount of pigment to them, and then if you do put something over top of it that is a little bit more sheer, it won't look so done up and as glammed up as regular liquid lipstick or bullet lipstick looks. It will look a little bit more tamed down, a little bit more toned down, but you'll still see something there, and it's a very pretty look that a lot of people can pull off really well. But I don't really think that's going to translate well as far as the eyes, especially with shades like this that are hot pink and like a vibrant blue. I guess I could see it working for maybe like a sheer metallic gold shade. I know some people are into a more no makeup look, so that formula might be good for some very toned down colors for people who do like no makeup. But if you're going for a blue, honey, you don't like no makeup. You're probably like me and you want very out there, pigmented, in your face, drag-esque makeup. You know what I'm saying? I don't see why they would come out with colors that are like this if it's going to be a sheer kind of barely there formula, because that's not a barely there color. And if you might be attempting to make people who like no makeup be into these types of colors, I don't think that concept is really going to work, in my opinion. You either like color or you don't. And I just don't think that it's a very good idea if that's what this formula is going to be. Now, I'm really excited still to see what these are actually like because, like I said, they may have just called it the Plushies sheer formula because it's supposed to be based off of the Plushies lipsticks. I know all of these shades that are in this palette specifically are named after the Plushies lipsticks, and I believe they're all corresponding colors to the actual lipsticks themselves. So I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to see what's coming up with this, but I'm just ever so slightly confused. So next up on the Pay or Stay Away list is one that I am so freaking excited for, and that is the new Wayne Goss makeup collection that is going to be coming out sometime in the near future, I suppose. We don't have a date yet, we don't have any prices yet, we don't even know what the makeup is going to look like. Wayne just announced that he is going to be launching his own makeup, and I see Wayne Goss like I do Charlotte Tilbury. I feel like Charlotte Tilbury has very classic, timeless products that are very expensive, but for the most part, very good quality, and I see Wayne exactly the same. I see him going down a very similar route as Charlotte Tilbury, And personally, in my opinion, I think that Wayne is going to make some freaking amazing blushes because the man loves his blushers, as he calls them. And I see him creating some beautiful pigmented, but not too pigmented, formulas of blushes. So I am the most excited for that. He's already kind of leaked what his packaging is going to look like, and it does look like one of these packages might be for blushes or face products. So Wayne, please give me some blushes because I trust you and I think that you will give us amazing quality blushes. As far as eyeshadows and highlighters and whatnot goes, I know that Wayne goes for more soft kind of bridal looks, so I don't know if that would necessarily be my jam because I like very high shine, impactful eyes and kind of highlights going on. But as far as like blushes and bronzers and maybe even lipsticks, I think Wayne could do a really good job. So I am super excited to see what he's going to be launching. And we'll just have to wait and see because we don't really have anything other than the packaging yet. But I trust him. I think this one's going to be good. Moving right along here, let's go ahead and chat about the new Becca and Chrissy Teigen Round 2 collection. It looks like they are launching an Endless Bronze and Glow Compact, which is going to consist of a strip of Moonstone, a strip of Beach Nectar, and a strip of Aloha Bronze. And I believe that Moonstone and Beach Nectar are both highlighters, and Aloha Bronze is a bronzer shade. So you kind of get like a 3-in-1 little mini face palette. I'm not seeing a price for that right now, but I can assume it would probably be $38 to $40, which is typically Becca's price range for their pressed face powder. They are also hopping on the body oil train. Looks like they are coming out with the Glow Body Oil, which is going to have a beachy scent and not be sticky. I don't see a price on that either, but I can assume probably around the $38 mark because it seems like all of Becca's products are around that $38 to like $42 price range. Then there are going to be 3 glosses that are coming out. It looks like they are coming out with Nude Beach, which is a pinky nude. Looks like they're coming out with Beach Nectar, which is a sheer rosy pink infused with pearl, and a Malibu Soleil, which is a sophisticated mauve nude. These are going to be available on June 28th on Sephora, Becca's website, and Cult Beauty. So, with all that being said, am I going to be purchasing any of this? Honestly, the only thing that I'm interested in is that face palette, but I'm not 100% certain that I want it. I really like the shade Beach Nectar, which is the same shade that was in last year's Chrissy Teigen and Becca collab. It was in the face palette, and I believe it was the lighter of the 2 shades. Although, to be honest, to me at least, those 2 shades looked very, very similar to each other. But I think this is the lighter, more kind of peachy, rosy toned highlight. I am all here for a beautiful peachy, rosy toned highlight. I think this is a pretty palette. I like that you get a decent amount of highlighter and you can kind of swirl them together. If the peach shade is a little bit too dark and you do have a lighter complexion, you can mix it with Moonstone to get a lighter shade that still has that peachy pink vibe. But if you are deeper, you have the option to just stick to the Beach Nectar shade. And the bronzer looks nice too. I do have a Becca bronzer that I use almost every single day. It's in the shade Ipanema Sun, and I absolutely love it and wear it all the time. So I don't doubt that these are going to be good products and the formulas are going to be good. I'm just not so crazy about everything being in one compact. Now, as far as the highlighters go, like I said, I understand that because you can kind of swirl your brush in there, get a little bit of all the highlighter shades on your brush, buff it onto the cheeks, and have a customized highlight for your skin. But I don't really love that they put the bronzer strip in there, and I don't really love that the bronzer is so small because my bronzer brush is huge, okay? I don't know how I'm going to get that into that tiny little strip of product, and I feel like that might be a complaint that a lot of people have about this. I personally would have loved to see them come out with, I'm going to say it again, but here's the magic word, split pans. Remember the Jaclyn Hill and Becca split pans? I'm pretty sure that those were 2 different pans in one compact. So there was a little metal divider in the middle that kind of separated them. So you could be a little bit more cautious with what you were dipping your brush into. So I love the idea of split pans. I would have loved to have seen maybe half Beach Nectar and half of the bronzer, maybe half Moonstone, half of the bronzer, and then half of Beach Nectar in the bronzer. That would have been freaking amazing, and I would have bought like 2 of those. But because there's no separation between these products themselves, I'm a little weary about it, so I'm going to have to see this in person. If it is really nice in person, I'm definitely going to be picking it up because I love peachy pink highlighters, I love Becca's bronzers, and I've never tried Moonstone ever in my life. So I would love to pick this up, but I don't want to get it if I'm not going to use it because I wouldn't be able to get my bronzer brush in there or something. So I'm just going to have to see it in person. But Becca, if you ever see this, why did you discard the idea of split pans? Because those were beautiful and I should have bought them when they were around. I figured they were going to be a thing that was just going to be happening with Becca now, because I thought it was a great idea, and I think a lot of people did too. But apparently it was a one-time thing that I missed out on. Next up on the pay or stay away list is the new Melt 27 palette. We don't have a price or a date on this palette yet, but people are speculating that it is going to be dropped on June 27th, which is the girl who made this palette's birthday. She is one of the owners of Melt, and she is the one who made the 27 palette, and I guess the other owner of Melt made the Gemini palette that recently launched. So I guess you just had a very short window to buy that Gemini palette if you wanted it, and I guess it's just gone now. I guess if you didn't pick it up and you wanted to, I guess now 27 is really your only option here. So this palette, I think, is a little disappointing, at least in my opinion, because there's just so many warm neutral palettes out on the market. This is giving me, you know, Naked Heat vibes. I mean, this is actually very strongly giving me Naked Heat vibes. It does have a really great formula, but from what I've heard and the reviews that I saw on the Gemini palette, I don't think that's the same formula as what they put in the little hockey puck stacks. I don't understand why they would bring out palettes and change the formula, because a lot of people who do like Melt are there for the formula. They do come out with a lot of fun colors, but most of them are shimmers. I feel like a lot of their mattes are more neutral tones or more kind of toned down shades. So I feel like a lot of people do really go there for their formula. They seem to have their matte formula down to a T, and their metallics are pretty good as well. So why in the world would they change the formula for these other palettes? Now, I do understand that when you put things into a palette and put things into different pans, the formulas can vary. But then you would think that they would just spend more time in the lab trying to get this formula as close as possible to the stack formula. And if they can't get it to the same formula, then just tell us so we know what we're getting into. This way we don't end up spending our money and wasting $50 or so, or however much the Gemini palette was, on something that isn't what we think it's going to be. I really just want brands to be as transparent as possible. If it's different, just tell me. People are still gonna buy it because people still love Melt. And there are some people who are going to look at this color selection and think, wow, this is right up my alley. I don't even care that it's a different formula. I'm sure it's still gonna be good. Let me pick it up. But I feel like they should really just be straight up with their consumers, because Melt has a very loyal fan base. And I feel like by not telling them that the formula is different, it's kind of deceiving in that way. Now, no shade against Melt, because I love them. I love their formula as far as these stacks go, but from what I've seen, this just is not the same thing. Now, the color scheme, I do not personally need. I have the Naked Heat palette and I've used it one time. I regret buying that so freaking much, and I'm not going to use that palette because I'm just not really into those kinds of colors. So this isn't really for me, but I'm curious to see what people have to say about this, because I was honestly shocked when I heard that the Gemini palette was not the same formula. So I wonder if they've maybe brought this one back, or maybe they kind of tweaked the formula a little bit. I don't know. I'm just curious to see what other people have to say about this one. So moving on to a lip product here, we are going to be talking about the Urban Decay LoFi Lip Mousse. These are going to be retailing for $26. They're coming soon, and we're not going to know an exact date, but it looks like they are going to be dropped around August or so. Lip mousse is described as a super soft whip texture that simply glides over lips. It's supposedly a liquid to matte color, delivers extreme pigmentation and velvety finish, and is a waterproof formula, but is buildable. I guess you can apply a thin layer for a soft natural effect, or you can build it up for an intense result. So it looks like the shade selection is going to consist of some purples, a couple nudes, but some deeper red and kind of orangey tone shades. It looks like a lot of these shades are a lot deeper in color. And this does not come in a bullet stick form or even in an applicator kind of liquid lipstick type of form. This comes in a little tiny pot. So this is giving me old school Urban Decay vibes, which I kind of like, because I remember back in the day Urban Decay had a lot of products in little pots, and I thought it was cute. But for the time and for what we're used to with lip products nowadays, I feel like most people really like to have their lip products in a stick form or in a crayon form or in a form that is easy to apply. That's why so many people like liquid lipsticks, is because they come in that little kind of doe foot applicator, and it's really easy to finesse products onto your lips. And I am the first person to admit that I am horrible with lip brushes. I already overjob my lips, so my lips are already wonky as all hell. And it becomes a whole different level of wonky when I try to use a lip brush. I don't know why, but I just can't really finesse product that well. Now, granted, if you have perfect, beautiful, big, plump lips, you might like a product like this because it would be real easy to just kind of take your finger in there, pat it on, and have a nice wash of color, or you can use a lip brush and layer everything up and get intense pigmentation according to this product. But if you have any dryness around your lips, or you have kind of small lips like me, but you overdraw and try and make them look bigger, it's going to be hard to finesse this product around your lip line to make everything look natural, at least in my opinion, based off of my personal experience here. But like I said earlier, a lot of these shades in this collection look to be of a more deeper, darker tone. I feel like one thing that people struggle with a lot is getting deeper, darker lipsticks to look really precise and sharp and look really nice on the lips, and I feel like it's a lot easier to get that type of look with a bullet lipstick or with a liquid lipstick because you really have control over the product. And I feel like even with this product with a lip brush, it's still going to be hard to, define the lips and make them look really sharp and clean. Now, I don't really understand the concept of this product because it claims to be matte, but it claims to be buildable, claims to be intense, but also sheer. It's kind of giving you a whole bunch of claims here. So I'm going to have to see other people use this. None of the colors are really calling out to me personally. Maybe the berry shade because I'm kind of into those right now. But looks like there's a shade with glitter in it and I'm not really into that at all. I don't know. We're just going to have to see how other people feel about it because I'm not going to take a chance on them and spend my money because I'm not super familiar with Urban Decay's sheer lipsticks that they have. I know they have some more intense lipsticks. I know they have some sheer ones. I'm not super familiar with really any of those, to be honest. I don't really venture into the Urban Decay lipstick part of the makeup community, so we're just going to have to see. And last but certainly not least on this list this week, we're going to be talking all about the Kylie Cosmetics Sorta Sweet collection and palette. It looks like this is going to be launching on June 28th, and I haven't seen any prices as of yet, but I do believe most of Kylie's palettes are around the $48 mark, and I believe her lip products in general are around the $20 mark. So she's coming out with the Sorta Sweet palette, and she is coming out with a lip trio in the shades Malibu, Glitz, which is a gloss, and Boy Bye. So I believe that Malibu and Boy Bye are liquid lipsticks, and Glitz is obviously a gloss. I'm not really interested in any of the lips because I'm just not really into those shades. I don't need any more lipsticks right now, and I don't know, I'm just not really drawn towards those specific colors, and I believe that this is just a trio, and I don't want to be stuck buying every single shade in this trio. If there was an option to purchase these individually, I feel like it would be a better idea. But I'm not Kylie Jenner, I don't have control over what she does on her brand, and I'm sure there's a reason why she put them as a trio. So it's just not really my thing, it's not really for me. So let's go ahead and discuss this palette. Looking at this palette makes me tired. I literally look at this palette and I'm just so unfazed by it. I don't even think twice about this palette. When I look at it, I want to just look away at something else that's more interesting. And that might be really harsh and really mean. But as you can see, I have a bright freaking blue eye on today, okay? I'm into color, I'm into bright things, I'm into in-your-face things, and this would give you a really nice kind of soft, smoky, sort of mauve-y effect. You could make some pretty looks with this palette, but it's just not my cup of tea or my makeup style. So I don't think it's a bad palette per se, but it's just not revolutionary by any means, and it's just not something that I am personally interested in. Now, like I said, I am not seeing the price on this Trendmood post that I'm looking at right now, but I do believe that these are typically $48, and I don't really see her dropping the price for this specific collection. I feel like the price is really up there because you can get the Anastasia Soft Glam palette for $42, and you guys know I always check Trendmood's comment section on these more controversial type of palettes because I'm curious to see what the Peanut Gallery has to say. And as per usual, the Peanut Gallery seemed to have a consecutive idea of how they felt about this palette, and everyone was just saying Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam ripoff. Now, I do know there's only so much you can really do in the beauty industry, and I know that ideas are kind of ripped off and stolen and taken inspiration from all of the time. That is nothing new here. Brands have literally built themselves around being dupe palettes. And I don't disagree with that. I think, you know, if you want to do what you want to do, go for it, because I'm not in the makeup industry and I'm not really the person to say whether or not it's a right or wrong thing, because I don't know all of the details and what goes into all of these ideas and into the makeup industry itself. But this palette is just so expensive for what it is, and you know with ABH you're going to be getting good quality stuff. I'm gonna be completely honest here, but I don't think Kylie necessarily has a great formula. I don't doubt it's a good formula, but I don't think it's a great formula. Now granted, I haven't tried it, so do I really have the opinion to be saying that? Well, I've watched so many reviews on a bunch of different palettes across the board in her palette collection, and everyone seems to say the same thing, that they are good, but they are not worth the price. I think a palette like this would be worth $22, maybe $28 at the most, but I feel like $22 is a good price for this palette. But Kylie's never going to go that low with her prices because she's Kylie and her name is on it, and you're going to pay for her name, and that's how it is. Everyone's known this ever since 2015, ever since she dropped the lip kits. Everyone knows this. You're paying for Kylie, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to pay for Kylie, girl, by all means, pay for Kylie. But I don't want to pay for Kylie. And I just personally don't really believe in Kylie's formula enough to take a chance and purchase this palette. And of course, I'm not into the color scheme, but those are just my personal opinions. And I'm not into colors like that, so if you are and you are a Kylie fan, by all means, do your thing. I'm not going to stop you and I'm not going to tell you it's wrong. I'm just telling you why I'm not buying this. And sorry Kylie, but I'm going to be skipping over the Sorta Sweet collection. Seems like this collection is sort of bittersweet, in my opinion. But with that, guys, that is going to be wrapping up this week's Pay or Stay Away. Please let me know down in the comments how you feel about some of these launches because I am so curious. Let's sound off in the comments below and talk about makeup together. I do hope that you consider subscribing if you have not already. I am doing Pay or Stay Away every single Monday, so if you like Pay or Stay Away videos or just makeup videos in general, I would love it if you subscribed down below. I would also love it if you gave this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I really do hope that you consider pushing that notification bell down below because YouTube does not want to let anyone know when I am uploading or when any other small creators are uploading either. I don't know what's going on with the algorithm. I think we've all established that the algorithm is just all sorts of crazy lately. So if you do enjoy my videos and other YouTubers' videos as well, if you like other small creators, please do ring their notification bell because as small creators, we are putting out content and it's already hard for us to get our stuff noticed. And we want our stuff to be seen, you know, at least by our subscribers. And the fact that YouTube isn't even letting our subscribers know when we're posting is kind of messed up in my opinion, but you know, I hope that they work this out. But until then, if you do enjoy my videos and other creators' videos as well, please do consider ringing the bell down below. I hope you are having an absolutely fantastic day wherever you are, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye!